What's good? Welcome back to another Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast episode. It's your boy The Don with my co-host King. What's good, man?
What's good, Don? It's a lovely night here, and I'm in Garner, North Carolina, so it's a lovely night here. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. The weekend eve is upon us, and guess what? That means we're another day closer to NFL Sunday. Yes, This Sunday we will be playing the Los Angeles Chargers, and we have two guys from that fan group. All right, they are. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves in their podcast. I don't want to, take their thunder away from them. They are our guests. They are brothers, by the way, too. So, are y'all twins?
No, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm good years older, so I appreciate that. Those are kind words.
I see Kyle and Kevin. I'm like, okay, are twins or whatever? Like,
yeah, resemblance.
Okay, well, y'all brothers, y'all better be resemblance.
I know, yeah. You got some splaining to do. But yeah, man, we're from the Chargers ChatPodcast. We LA Charger fans, diehard. We're from a lot of us from San Diego, and we kind of dispersed across the country, and we're still fans, even though we're going through some tough times.
Hey, man, like the good Dusty Rhodes said, man, hard time breed better men. So
absolutely.
Hey, but glad y'all can join us right now. Hey, if you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button. Share this content out, Atlanta Sports Fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. All right, King, let's go ahead and do the show, man.
Let's get to these notes. All right, the last time the Falcons met the Chargers was 2016. Chargers won 33-30.
In overtime. I remember that game.
Yeah, that was a close one.
That was I remember that one. Yeah,
I remember that game. That was our Super Bowl year, and that game right there. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That game pretty much told me everything I needed to know from going for the rest of that season. Like, we were literally giving up. We scored a lot of points, but we was also allowing too many points.
Yeah.
And against the Chargers team at that time, y'all was average at best at that time. Because who was y'all head coach? It was still McCoy, right?
Yes, 16. Yeah, it was Coach McCoy.
Yeah, McCoy wasn't. I think that was his last year, wasn't it? Yeah, that was his last year. And y'all really was average or below average.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, we struggling against a team like this. Like, I knew Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and all those guys was good, but our defense was just atrocious.
Yeah, well, that was one of our Phil years. So, whenever you have Phil, I know he gets, becomes kind of the butt end of jokes sometimes now with having all those kids and everything, but he sure can throw the rock. So it was good having him. That's why we were always in games. He was always able to drive it down the field. What were you gonna say, Kai?
No, I was gonna say, that, like I said, that was Phil. He threw for almost 400 yards in that game. And it was early in the year still. And I remember watching you guys in the Super Bowl being like, damn, we beat them. Why? What the? And, we did have a very mediocre year. Ended up losing our head coach. But yeah, whenever we'll talk about it a little bit, I think a little bit later, but Phillip Rivers always kept us in games. And usually, especially this year, we're on the wrong end of those close games.
Yeah, we're going to get to Phillip Rivers a little later. We're going to talk about him and the Matt Ryan comparison.
Yes, because a lot of people compare these guys together, and I got something to say on that, but whatever.
I do too. All right, so Matt Ryan in that game, 22 for 34, 273 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Tevin Coleman, 8 carries, 64 yards, 1 touchdown. Devontae Freeman, 15 carries, 58 yards. Julio Jones, 9 catches, but no touchdowns. We know how Julio gets when he go on his games where he don't have touchdowns. I was one of them. He had 174 yards, though. Devontae Freeman was the next best receiver with 5 catches and 42 yards. So that shows you a lot right there. When your next best receiver is the running back. So that's a lot. It shows you a lot about how the offense was going. That game, total yards, Falcons 386, Chargers 426. Passing yards, Falcons 256, Chargers 348. Rushing yards, Chargers only ran for 78 yards. So good run stop defense for us that game. But at the end of the game, it didn't matter because Chargers won. Falcons had 130 rushing yards. Time of possession. Chargers won that 35 minutes, 29 seconds. Falcons 30 minutes and 30 seconds. Penalties.
Yeah, that was because of overtime though.
Yeah, that is true. But
yeah, you win the coin toss, you know, you're pretty much going to win the time of possession if you go down the field and score. So
right.
Yeah. Penalties. Falcons 9, Chargers 3. So at least recap that game. How did y'all feel about that game?
Honestly, like my brain is so far removed from that season and that, you know, that it's like my brain is still stuck on last week's 45-0 loss. Like I can't, my brain's not working. So Kyle, do you have any memories of that game?
No, the only thing I would say is I was just looking through kind of the roster from that game, and there are definitely some constants still there. The Joey Bosa's, the Casey Haywards, but a lot of our offense is very, very different. I don't think we have one lineman still from that team, different quarterback. Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry, I think, are the only two consistent receiving threats from that game. We're a very different ball club, different coaches. Like there's not one coach from that team that we played in 2016. So it's a very different looking team now than we were then. And we had Phillip Rivers drop back, sit there and hope somebody gets open or else you're going down. So it was a very different ball club. So it's going to be a much different matchup coming up this Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of matchups, I got Justin Herbert, who won NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month honors for November. First quarterback since 2012 to win it back-to-back months. That man is a baller. I love Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
He's a really good quarterback. I liked him when he was in college. I actually told my brother about it. I said, yo, he is nice, yo.
Yeah.
My brother's also a Chargers fan. So I told him he was nice. How do y'all feel about Herbert?
For me, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like I was worried this year going out of it because we were moving on from Phil. We've had him forever. So the fact that we were able to move from a quarterback like Phillip Rivers to Justin Herbert, who wasn't even supposed to play this year, you know, he was supposed to sit on the bench and just kind of follow Tyrod Taylor. So he got his opportunity and he never looked back. And he's the really, you know, I say this all the time on our podcast, but he's like the real reason why it's fun to watch Charger football right now, because he rolls, he moves, he makes stuff happen. His arm is insane. Like the velocity on his balls is just fun to watch him play football. So
I heard somebody say they called him a poor man's. This not a knock neither. This is kind of good. A poor man's Pat Mahomes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Some of those really awesome.
I kind of can understand it a little bit, but you know, he's still developing. You know, and I promise you, if you guys get the right coaching in there and not get rid of that running back offensive minded head coach and get y'all a guy in there that can be a quarterback whisperer, you know, who knows how good Justin Herbert can be.
Well, the big thing right now with Justin Herbert is the fact that our offensive line is giving up so many pressures.
I've seen the tape, man.
What he's able to do right now under duress when he doesn't have clean pockets for most of the game is incredible. So let's get him, that's a big thing.
He has the best QBR under pressure this year as a quarterback. He because it's constant. Whether we're have 5 in protection, 7 in protection, no matter what, he has pressure. But that's what everyone wants to do. A young quarterback, you want to bring pressure and see what they do. And until this last week, which a lot of it was due to our left tackle not being in the game. Sam Tebby was out this last week. So that was bad. I mean, we had an XFL tackle in there in Storm Norton trying to just hang on. And against a Bill Belichick, Belichick saw that, and you know he's bringing every pressure.
I know, he exposed that. I know he exposed that. Yeah, but like you talking about y'all offensive line, where are y'all picking that right now? Like looking at the Tankathon,
we're 5 right now.
5.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. Look, if y'all want to keep Herbert clean, y'all need to go back to Oregon. And draft Sewell.
Yep. That's our entire fan base is so on board with what you're saying, 100%. The question is he going to be there at 5? That's our hope.
He's not. He's not. I promise you, he's either going to get picked in the top 3. Now we talking about everybody talking about Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. Now Sewell to me is a generational talent. Yeah, I don't like using that word that much, but the boy is good. And I want him on the Falcons because what we can do. Because we ain't really got no good left guard right now. What we can do is we can put him at because he can play either left guard or left tackle. But I would rather move him to tackle and move Jake Matthews to guard. That's just something I would do. And guess what? Our line is set. We good.
Yeah.
But I don't see the Falcons getting in the top 3. So I don't know. But if he do fall and y'all don't pick him up, that's what I'm saying. Y'all problems is in the trenches. Y'all need to fix the trenches.
Oh, we were talking about it on our last podcast. It's like picks 1 through 3 need to be tackle, guard, center. Like we just need to, it's just not the best year. And the thing that's happening with us this year is that we have a new offensive line coach. So there's just a lot of changes in a crazy year where there was no off-season programs, and it sounds like excuses, blah, blah, blah. But just the reality, it's just a crazy, bizarre year. And the fact that Herbert is playing the way he is within the circumstances is just, we couldn't be any luckier.
Yeah.
It worked out so well.
Yeah. The poor man's Mahomes comparison, I think it's okay. We're Charger fans, so hearing anything compared to Mahomes kind of makes me throw up a little bit. But
it makes me mad, almost like it.
I know, but he's just a young Patrick Mahomes, I guess. He was playing at Oregon. The reason he didn't get the big looks is because he didn't have the same talent that a lot of the Tua Tagovailoa had, and so he just didn't have those looks. Like the Joe Burrow had 3 NFL receivers on his college team, but he didn't put up the big numbers, and he didn't put up the big numbers like Marcus Mariota and Joey Harrington. Those quarterbacks did, but still, like the boy looks good. Well, he was a steal for us. At Oregon, he either had, of his 4 years playing, he had 3 different or maybe even 4 different offensive coordinators. So there was never consistency, and he still put up numbers, and he was a freak athlete. The only thing that for me right now, what I'm getting a little bit worried about is he's losing his running identity a little bit. You saw that in college in the Rose Bowl when he finally started to run, everything opened up and he had an all-world game. And that's what he was doing early on. His first game against the Chiefs, he took off and lowered his shoulder into this linebacker and almost knocked him out. Yeah.
No, he was on the ground. Like literally, it was insane.
But he was running the ball consistently. Now we're not really seeing that. The read options, he's not really keeping very, very much at all, even if their look is there. So that to me is the only thing that's like he's starting to conform a little bit more into that pocket passer, which I think he's such a great athlete that he needs to be have that freedom to get out and go, just learn how to slide a little bit.
Exactly. I agree. But I just looked, I'm like, I forgot, like, y'all don't have Pat Meyer no more as y'all offensive line coach. That man was good. That man, I'm telling you, that man is like the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Because I was thinking about, let's bring him in I wanted him as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Well, we thought we were getting an upgrade in Campen. He was the offensive line coach for the Packers forever. And, some what he was able to do with some of the offensive line for the Green Bay, he was able to develop guys. And I think that's why they brought him in, because we have some offensive line guys like Trey Pipkins and some of these guys that were Division II guys, and they need to be developed. And I think that's what they're trying to do. Like we haven't tackled Telesco, our GM hasn't tackled our offensive line in the draft aggressively enough in a lot of our opinions.
You go look at Pat Meyer's track record, all right, and go to Football Outsiders, and you look at offensive line rankings when he was the line coach for you guys, when he was a line coach for Buffalo, Chicago. It's in the top 5. I kid you not even lying. And this is why I was high on Pat Meyer. If anybody listened to me or heard anything about me back like a year or so ago, because last year I wanted us to get rid of Dan Quinn to clean house, and I said we need to bring in Pat Meyer as an OC. He may end up becoming an OC soon because he's that doggone good. Like if Christian McCaffrey would have not been hurt this year, like man would have been definitely MVP under Pat Meyer.
You're telling me I have him in my fantasy league, and he doesn't look like he's starting in playoffs for me this week. I'm kind of pissed about it. Thanks a lot, McCaffrey. Sorry, tangent. My bad.
So let me ask you guys something. Never wish injury on anybody. Do y'all think this was a good thing for Justin Herbert, or would y'all have wanted to see him wait a year behind Tyrod?
Knowing what we know now, I'm pumped that he got an opportunity. When it happened and when we drafted Justin, we knew that was the plan. So we wanted to see, and we were excited about Tyrod. He's a great leader. He's a good football player. He doesn't turn the ball over, which has been our Achilles heel for a really long time. So, and we started week 1 with a W. It wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but we started 1-0. So and as the fan, we were kind of fed this. He's going to sit all year. So we had come to terms with it. And I was okay with that. Like you guys brought up the Patrick Mahomes thing. That's what we saw. We saw, okay, this guy's got elite talent. He didn't have the guys around him. He needs to get used to NFL speed. He'll be able to do that behind and learn from a vet like Tyrod. And then next year he'll be ready to go. But now, like with the season, the way that it's gone, our record being so atrocious, this has at least been a light spot to hold our interest and keep us excited.
Yeah, we don't, like you said, don't want to wish injury on anyone, but just how it all happened. I'm sure you know that Tyrod Taylor got his lung punctured by our team doctor giving him a shot for pain.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's just crazy. It's just a crazy way to start your career, not having any prep for the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we take him into overtime. And that just kind of he kind of came out of the gates swinging, and he hasn't stopped. So we're pumped to have him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So last week we lost to the Saints, a horrible loss for us, but for y'all, it was just, how did you feel watching that game?
Embarrassed. We were laughing the whole time. That's what it came to.
You know
like,
what? We doing that too.
There's nothing you can do. You have to just sit there and you know that something bad's gonna happen, and you just laugh when it happens.
Just take it.
At this time, man, when you know you got a losing record, and, you know, and on paper you think you this good, and you just going out there just thinking it up. That's all you could just do on Sundays, man. Just laugh, man, because you know why raise your blood pressure, especially in your 30s. You know, like
I know, right?
At this point, man, I just laugh. It's comical.
It was hard for us. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say it's come to a point now. Statistically, our offensive defense is top 10 in the NFL. And our special teams is so bad that we have 3 wins on the season. That really is the truth, that our special teams is so bad. They have, even if it's not them scoring touchdowns, they're getting in field position. Last week, we had 2 punt returns and a field goal blocked return. So it's like,
that can kill
you cannot win games giving up 21 points, like actually 21 points on special teams, and more than that with field position. It's just atrocious.
You want to hear a fun stat that we're going into this week? What's going to happen with our special teams? You guys want to hear something fun?
Yeah.
Coach Lynn is taking over full control of the special teams. So
Coach Lynn is our special teams
coach.
Our
head coach is now our special teams coach. So
this man really trying to micromanage the team.
This is our third. He's already fired the first one, and now he's demoted the second one. And now
there was like 2 guys running it, and he demoted them. Now he's doing it. So like our whole fan base has just lost our ability to support Anthony Lynn, and that's where we're at right now with him. And he's doing the stuff. He's saying crazy shit. Excuse my language. At these press conferences, and it's just
management's just not good.
It's just, man, where's the Spider-Man? Where's that Spider-Man meme with both of the Spider-Man pointing at each other?
Yeah,
I kid you not. That's pretty much Dan Quinn too, saying just all these slogans and stuff. Oh, we gonna get better. Oh, every time we lose, oh, I'm pissed. But go out there the next week and still lose.
Yeah,
it's pissed. You just talking junk.
That's crazy, man.
All about the ball. All about the
ball. Apparently, it ain't. We letting teams just have their way on us on defense. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Well, and while we're on it, tell us a little bit about your season, because I know you guys have run into some tough losses and aren't where you guys want to be. And you clearly have a strong offense. You got Julio Jones, you got Ryan, you got a lot of great pieces. So why?
All right, coaching, number 1.
Yeah.
Coaching, our offense, everybody looking at our offense is not looking good right now. I think we're ranked in the low 20s or 30, something like that. I may be wrong. Sorry, heartburn. But anyway, when I get excited, I'm talking about my Falcons. Like I get kind of, it's just chest pains. Like that's how bad it is, you know. But anyway, it's coaching, offensive coordinator, Dirk Cutter. We brought him back. I don't know why. He doesn't want to run the ball. The play calling just dumb. It makes no sense at all. We lost 5 games in a row, and then after that we fired Dan Quinn Now we got Raheem Morris. Everybody was talking about, oh, we need to keep Raheem Morris, because we beat Minnesota, we beat Carolina, and we beat Denver, I believe.
And you beat the Raiders, right?
Yeah, we beat Oakland. Yeah,
did you beat the hell out of the Raiders?
That was our only, but no, that was our only game that we looked good. That was it. Yeah. All the other games that we won, man, the teams almost came back and beat us.
Yeah, it's
it's the same thing under Dan Quinn. We either have ugly wins or ugly losses.
So here's something that we're dealing with as a fan base, and our podcast especially is talking through coaching staffs have come and gone, players have come and gone, but this identity as a Charger and now becoming kind of a Falcon is you cannot hold on to leads. You just lose these games that you cannot lose continually year after year. Yep. So how much is it lands on your coaches and players, and how much is it the organization? That's the identity of your organization.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like Thomas Dimitroff, the general manager, man, I don't know who y'all GM is at the moment, but this man should have been fired when Mike Smith was fired after 2014. We left him here. Yeah, we had the Super Bowl run in 2016, and it looked like we were drafting well, but if you look at it now, like Vic Beasley, pretty much not in the league anymore. Tat McKinley, somewhere in Las Vegas, in purgatory somewhere. I don't know where he at.
So they usually send those players out to the Raiders.
Right? Yeah, they go out there and die.
Yeah.
But it's more on the coaching in the front office.
That's good. That's not a bad that's something that could change. I believe ours is ownership. The identity of our organization is just bad from the top. They don't put the money where it needs to be. They're not willing to invest in what it needs to be invested in. I've heard, so Danny Woodhead, next Charger, has a podcast, him and Matt Slauson, and Slauson talked about how poorly run all the little stuff is, like the practice facilities when they were in San Diego, their travel accommodations, everything, even little down to like what their showers were like and the water pressure. It's like those little things you just do not take into account, and that's become the identity of our organization, and you don't buy into it. On our last episode, Kevin interviewed our dad, who is the instigator in our Charger fandom. Yeah, he talked about, he gave a story of an ex-player who was with the Chargers and then went to another organization, was like, wow, this is how you guys are, this is how you're treated. It's incredible. So to me, the ownership, that doesn't change very often. And that's where I think our biggest issue is. So be encouraged that it's just coaches and GMs, because those turn over pretty quick now in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Key.
For me, I'm giving 60-40, 60% coaching and 40% on the players. Only because if you look at the key players on our defense, the Grady Jarrett's, the Deion Jones, they were here when we blew the Super Bowl lead. So I feel like a lot of times when it's crunch time, that replays in their head and they just don't, I don't want to say don't know what to do, but you get that relapse of like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, about to come back.
But that goes back, that kind of goes back to coaching though. Like players can't escape bad coaching. They can't. Yeah. They just can't. We've seen players, play on horrible teams, go to teams and become a Pro Bowler.
Right. It's happened to the Chargers numerous times.
I think you guys have a kicker that we used to have.
Yeah, young
Yeah. The reason why he's good. The reason why he's good because we're not scoring touchdowns. Like, that's good. That's a gift and a curse, though.
Still, he shanked for us. He was on our team. He was shanking field goals, PATs, everything.
Yeah,
he got cut.
Oh, he made some PATs for us too.
You got to play. Yeah.
So I have a question. This is kind of my theory on him. That's kind of a sidebar thing, but the fact that there's no fans in the stands, it's got to make it easier on kickers.
Pressure off.
Like was good. He was good later in the season last year too.
But was he this good? Was he like unstoppable, highest scoring kicker in the league? Good.
No, last year we were scoring a little bit more touchdowns.
We're not
scoring any points. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So when you're not scoring touchdowns, when you're in the red zone. Yeah. And you come up empty-handed on a touchdown, guess what? You pulling your kick out there, they're gonna get points.
All right, I'm with you. I'm trying to throw a little take out there and see.
You're getting them fired up, dude.
I
Yeah,
know,
they're
man.
gonna
I know
see
y'all.
the
I'm not
Look,
proud of that
look,
kicker leading the
I'm
league
sorry.
in
Look,
scoring.
I'm sorry, Young Wei Koo didn't work for y'all. You know, we also brought in Michael Turner. Remember, y'all had Michael
Yeah.
Turner at one point in
yeah,
time.
long
Yeah,
time,
he
man.
balled
He was
Yeah, he's a
great.
baller.
Well, now you guys got Gurley, so that must be awesome to have a Georgia fan and moving him back, right? No,
We ain't using him.
You see, he got knee problems still.
yeah,
We not using this man for nothing.
I was
That's good to
never a
hear.
component of the Gurley thing. Ask anybody that know me, I was like, no, I didn't want him. It's just once you go from a team like the Rams, who were just not using you, it shows a lot, especially when you were dominant the year before. It's like, all right, what are you really bringing to the table? And now later on in the year, we got the same problems that the Rams were having. You got knee issues. You're limited. Like, what's the point? Why are you here?
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I need to run it back all year, not half the year. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
I'm sure there was some excitement though, getting a Georgia player back home for some people. I know he hasn't lived up, but I'm sure when the season started, you guys were like, yes, a little bit.
I don't like
No.
Georgia.
No,
I don't like Georgia.
All
I'm
right.
not a Georgia fan.
all right.
But the most Georgia fans are like, "Yay, we got TG!" Like, okay, back home.
Yeah,
But
And I said this too. I said, yeah, we got Todd Gurley, but are we gonna use this man? Because I know how Dirk Cutter is. Dirk Cutter, this man can have Derrick Henry, doggone AJ Dillon, and Christian McCaffrey all on the same team. You think he gonna use them? Nope.
you send out
This
young
man
Wayne.
gonna steal-
You
this
send
man-
out your kicker. Go do
This
work.
man gonna continue to throw doggone 4 verts down the field every doggone play on first down. On second and 1, it can be second and 1. We're gonna throw 4 verts down the field.
All right, I respect it.
Well, that's exactly what. Who were we playing? Oh man, I can't remember the game. The Jets. Their strategy against us at the end of the game was run 4 verts and hope for a PI, and it works a lot.
Yeah.
So you guys throw the ball deep, we might be in a little bit of trouble.
We'll see, man. Well, hopefully, like we, it. Like I said, it's at this point, it's all crazy right now with both teams and how the way we've been playing. Everybody sitting up here saying that they want Raheem Morris as the head coach, and I said, look, the man can't beat the Saints. You got to beat the Saints.
Yeah.
I don't care if we go 2-14 every year, but those 2 wins,
The Saints.
they better go towards the Saints.
Yeah.
If not, you need to get up out of here.
Yeah.
This is like what y'all biggest rival is what? Oakland, right?
Yep.
Well, Las Vegas now.
It's
Yeah, the
everyone
Raiders.
because we haven't
Yeah.
beaten an AFC
We
West
haven't-
opponent in
yeah.
like 2 years. So
now.
it's been a nightmare.
I know, but
Yeah,
y'all-
dude, that's a lot of football to not win against the guys you play all the time.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah,
Mark,
it's not good at all.
What's good, Mark? What's good, everybody in the chat? Y'all got Zach Whitaker, and he's a representative for y'all Chargers ChatPodcast.
Yeah, and Tyler Foffey, thanks for coming on, man. He interacts with us a lot, and he's a good guy. So thanks for coming on, Tyler. We appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming on. I ain't forget about y'all. Mark, here you go, man. Falcons trying to tank. We ain't trying to tank. We are trying to win, but it's hard to win when you have dumb play callers that doesn't want to call the game the right way.
Yeah.
So trust and believe. We don't need to tank for nobody.
Moving into the overall record. First time we played y'all was 1973. Falcons won 41-0. That won't happen again.
Damn.
You're bringing
Right
some
out
old
there.
stats on us.
Yeah.
You gotta bring
won't
up
happen
40-point game stats on us after we just experienced that.
A
Thanks.
45-0 loss. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, it won't happen again, though. Trust me. Our offense will not do bad. We played each other 10 times. Falcons lead this series 8-2.
Ooh.
So we've kind of owned y'all in this every time we've met, we kind of owned y'all in this, I don't want to say rivalry, but in this competition.
Matchup. Yep.
Or matchup, yes. The Falcons has the longest winning streak over the Chargers with 6 consecutive wins. That was from 91 to 2012. So
That was a dark time for the Chargers.
Dark time.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that is true.
That's when
It's
y'all
been
had
good.
y'all still had in 2012. Did y'all still have Noah Turner?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
oh, man. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all something.
Yeah,
Dean Spanos is got to be one of the worst owners in football.
Hands down.
Him and Mike Brown from Cincinnati. Those are horrible owners. They don't care about nothing. They don't care about winning. I forgot.
Well,
I'm sorry, Woody Johnson. I meant to mention you too for the Jets. Yeah, he's a horrible owner as well. Like they don't care about winning. It's just like a tax write-off to them or something.
Yeah, well, that's their main source of money. The Spanoses are not that multi-billionaire owner that does this because they had a passion for it. This is their big time moneymaker now. So that's why we moved to LA. We just wanted that check. And I think our fan base is hurting because of it.
Y'all should have stayed.
I think you look at,
in my opinion, like San Diego would have been better.
Yeah,
there's other issues with that though. Like San Diego, it's a long, hard story, and
there's a lot
broke up a lot of people about it. But the city didn't help much, and the Spanoses didn't help much. It was just a mess. But I think the big thing, you look at the coaches. We've been talking about that. What happened with Marty Schottenheimer? Fired a coach after he went 14-2.
Thank you.
Who does that? Who does that?
Thank you. This man was the best coach y'all ever had.
Yeah.
And I know y'all had Bobby Ross. That took y'all to 94. Yeah, shout out to Georgia Tech because he did bring a natty to Georgia Tech in 1990. But like I've been saying this. Like, why would you fire a coach after winning 14 games? Yeah, y'all snuck it up. I don't know what was going on in that game because I saw it was at 2006.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Who was y'all offensive coordinator at that time?
Oh shit, I don't know.
Man, you're putting us on. I don't know.
He's testing my Charger knowledge.
Let me take a look.
I do want to say Craig Smith, one of the guys that we work with a lot on the podcast, is here. So what's up? What's up, Craig?
Because I'm thinking like, did y'all have Noah Turner as y'all offensive coordinator? And he move up? Let me see. Because I remember that playoff game.
Our offensive coordinator was Cam Cameron. And defensive coordinator was Wade Phillips, and our head coach was Marty Schottenheimer, and they dispersed that whole all-star coaching staff. And here's the real problem with it. Our GM, AJ Smith had a little bit of a Napoleon syndrome where he didn't get the credit that he wanted, and he wanted to take it out on someone. And unfortunately, Schottenheimer was the guy that got the axe. I think they just butted heads too much. And you go look back at some of those LT documentaries, and he was devastated when Marty Schottenheimer left.
Yep.
I mean, that was the perfect coach for LT and that squad. We should have had way more success and allowed them to run with it for a while.
Man, y'all had a dominant defense.
Yeah.
Y'all had a dominant defense. Everywhere that Marty Schottenheimer went, they had a good defense. Check out that 90s Kansas City team. Yeah, that man couldn't win the playoff game, but he got you in the playoffs. He did.
I'll take a playoffs every year. What we're doing right now, we go once a decade. It seems like
exactly. Yeah. I'll take at least let me get in the dance. Let me get in the club. That's all I want to do. So this is what I say. But y'all defense. I remember the coaching staff y'all had. I remember y'all had Wade Phillips. Y'all had Marty Schottenheimer. Y'all had Ron Rivera too, I believe. On that,
he was a defensive coordinator for a while.
Yep.
He was the linebackers coach, wasn't he?
On that team, I don't know. I know he was our D coordinator shortly after that.
Yeah, but like I remember also that game that y'all played against the Patriots in that divisional round. Y'all ain't even running for LaDainian Tomlinson. I remember that.
I think there was just injuries going on. It was at the Phil game where he played without an ACL. There was just a lot going on. I think that year that was crazy.
Y'all barely ran the ball against New England, and I'm like, the only way y'all gonna win against New England, y'all got to run the ball. The ball.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know how to explain it. I coached for 10 years, and I don't know how to explain what the Chargers are doing most of the time.
Man, I'll be telling you. Oh man, all right. So, going back to let's go ahead and get to this injury report.
All right, injury report. Like we stated earlier, the arthritic knee. Todd Gurley was limited in practice. Keanu Neal ankle, limited in practice. Dante Fowler hamstring, limited in practice. Running back Ito Smith, neck, limited. Linebacker Foya Luakon, neck, limited. Tight end Hayden Hurst, ankle, limited. Grady Jarrett, limited. Wide receiver Julio Jones did not practice. Ricardo Allen, concussion, did not practice. James Carpenter, groin, did not practice.
Keep him. Let's put James Carpenter on IR for the rest of the season.
We should, man.
Like, this dude trash. Like, let's put the whole team on ice. Like, everybody needs to be on ice. But like James Carpenter, man, this man is god awful, man. I'm 220. All right. I was close to 215. I give myself 215. I don't need to lose a little weight anyway. But I can block better than doggone James Carpenter. This man is a straight human turnstile.
I love it.
Chargers. Cornerback Chris Harris, foot, did not practice. Casey Hayward, I love Casey Hayward.
And I think let me jump in because I think this is from yesterday. I got the updated one if you want it.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead. We got Chris Harris was limited. Casey Hayward was a full participant. Rayshon Jenkins full. Joshua Kelly full. Uchenna Nwosu, which is a big for us. He hurt a chest injury. He's a big linebacker for us, rushing the passer. He played and practiced in full. Denzel Perriman limited, which is also huge. A big bruiser of ours. We really needed him back last week. Troy Maine Pope, one of our backup running backs, did not participate, and Joe Reed, wide receiver, was limited. That's our most up-to-date injury report.
Well, thank you, sir.
Got you, bro.
Our injury. This is Julio Jones is just a regular. Like, I'm so used to
does
him.
he practice? Does he even practice anymore?
Julio Jones is
on Sundays.
You can't practice what Julio Jones does. You just show up and he can make it happen.
Just do that.
Hopefully he don't get the game.
Yeah, we just need him to stop dropping. It ain't just him; it's other receivers too. Just been dropping a lot of passes. I think we're in top 5 right now in drop passes. Which, we'll talk about Matt Ryan in a minute, but it's right now we talk about coaching, but also players got to also execute the plays too, man.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just gonna say our injury report is nice. that's not a bad injury report for what we normally are going through. It sounds like most of our offensive line should be back to full strength. We don't really have many excuses for this week. Denzel Perriman's a thumper run game guy, but against you guys, I don't foresee us having a huge need for that. So I bet we'll have 5 defensive backs out there most of the time. That's a pretty sound and injury report for the Charger fan base for sure.
Yeah.
All righty. Falcons fire Quinn. Anthony Lynn, 29 of 31 overall record with the Bolts. In his last 28 games, he's 8-20. Horrible.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any head coaches y'all would like to see in San Diego? Oh, not San Diego, LA.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the correction.
Y'all lost Anderson now.
Yeah. I think the big thing we want, and we talked about on the last episode, is the fact that we want a coach that it has been a head coach. We don't want any more coordinators that are stepping up to coach for the first time. We've had enough of that the last couple coaches. So I think for us, we talked about Bowles possibly. The Jets from the Jets back in the day. He head coach there.
Great candidate, and I've done some coach scoutings too, and I want him as well. He's not high on my list, but I would like for him to come in to be a head coach. But he's a great candidate.
I think it's just guys that have been, and this was Kyle's take, so I'm kind of stealing it from him, but guys that have done it before, know how to manage the clock, know when to call timeouts, know how to do all the normal head coaching stuff. Mm-hmm. Kyle, go ahead, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's a great point, Kev. I was a head coach.
That was your point. So thank you for thanking me for your point. Go ahead.
You're welcome. So I coached for 10 years, and 7 of those were as an assistant, as a coordinator, and then 3 as a head coach. And being a head coach is so drastically different. If you've never done it before, you're not prepared. And there's going to be growing pains. And I think the Chargers are built to win right now. We have a young quarterback. We have to capitalize on him not taking up our whole cap. We have to, that cheap 4 or 5 years that we have him under contract for, we have to go try to win right now. So I want a guy that knows what he's doing, knows what it looks like to be a head coach in the NFL, knows how to schedule your practices, what travel looks like, how to put together a coaching staff. That is the hardest thing about being a head coach, is having the connections, knowing the people to be able to put together a good staff. If not, you're just hoping that the draw of being a coach for the Chargers is enough. But guys that have done it before, they have their guys and they can gel right away and they can bring in a staff to be effective. And so that's what I want. I don't want a guy that like an Anthony Lynn. He's a great guy. He's a really good coach, but he's not a head coach. I think Anthony Lynn's going to go from us to go OC somewhere, and he's going to do a really good job. And he's a really good man. He's a leader. People love him. He's just not a head coach. He doesn't have that looking at everything going on during a game. So that's why I want somebody that's done it before. Even if a Harbaugh wants to come back to the NFL.
Oh Lord, no. I'm a Michigan fan, but I'm a Michigan fan, by the way. Yeah, I know he played for you guys as well back in the day. So
yeah.
Oh no, like you want him to stay in Michigan, or like no, you don't want him.
He needs to go. Look, y'all can have.
He needs to go retire.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, if he does not have Vic Fangio coming behind him, no.
Yeah, but I want somebody with head coaching experience. Bottom line, and a lot of the people being thrown out there do not have it. Like the Salah from the 49ers, the coordinator for the Chiefs, Bieniemy. I'm like, the guys are the head coaches are making them look really good. I don't want to take that chance.
Thank you. Oh man, I want y'all, if y'all haven't gone with our channel, I did a video on Airbnb and I brought somebody in who works as a beat writer for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they said this, and I knew this before I had the man on. He is not calling the plays out there in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Andy Reid has been
Andy Reid. Yeah.
Andy Reid been coaching for 30, 40 years, play calling for 30, 40 years for Brett Favre, doggone Donovan McNabb, all these Alex Smith, all these good quarterbacks. And you think this man finna just give up his playbook to somebody else? No. Like, come on now. Like, and the Falcons fans, we want Airbnb. He's not calling the plays. We're gonna have another Dan Quinn. Because Dan Quinn was never proven. He was up there in Seattle. We know Pete Carroll has been a great defensive-minded coach for years. But going back to what I was about to say, I pulled up my list right here on my phone, and I made videos on all these coaches already. Scouting. It's called head coach scouting for the Atlanta Falcons. These are guys I would like to be a head coach in Atlanta.
Let me go real quick. Because I know you're gonna do your thing.
Go ahead, man.
He's getting wound up. He's getting going.
My coach I want is Rex Ryan.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah. Only reason is because I know he's gonna bring that intensity that the Falcons need on defense. Even when he was at the Jets, top 10 defense every year. They just didn't have an offense. We have the offensive pieces. We have the offensive pieces. We're not gonna talk about his stint with the Bills. It wasn't long enough.
It was bad taste in his mouth. He had a bad taste in his mouth after he left New York. He carried it over to Buffalo, and he was burnt out. You can tell by looking at the games how the way he was on the sideline. This man was like burnt out.
He just needs to get out of New York. He needs to go somewhere else.
When you look, I'm telling you, if you coach the Jets, man, you need counseling after that because you done been through things. I'm telling you, that's why he left and did commentary or analyst because he need a break. So I feel like if he come back now, I would love for Rex Ryan to be here in Atlanta, but he's not my number one. He's my number two, but he's not my number one.
Who's your number one?
My number one is Don Martindale, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. This man has been putting up a top defense since he's been defensive coordinator. He's like a Rex Ryan, but he is a leader among men, and I feel like him coming to Atlanta would be a good choice. My third choice would be Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator for Indianapolis. Done a great job with that defense, developing that linebacker Leonard from they drafted back in 2018.
Darius Leonard,
Darius Leonard,
of the year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another person I said Todd Bowles, Dennis Allen would be another one. He was a head coach at Oakland. He didn't get a fair shake there because he had doggone McKenzie as his GM, and they didn't do nothing. They ain't draft no good players. Ain't getting this man no acquisitions and free agency. Dennis Allen, since he been back with New Orleans, they've been a top 10 defense unit.
Yeah.
I have Eric Bieniemy on my list, but it's just Brian DeBoer, the offensive coordinator for Buffalo, done a great job developing Kyle Allen up there. Man, well, who cares, man? I don't care if Don Martin lost to the Patriots.
Everyone loses that Patriots.
Thank you. And on top of that, it was look what happened with Lamar Jackson. He was stuffed it up. You can only do so much with your offense. Go out there and play like trash. All right. Brandon Staley is another one. He's a young, up-and-coming defensive-minded coach. He coached under Vic Fangio for a long time. He's the Los Angeles Rams defensive coordinator.
So a lot of these coaches are NFL guys. You don't like the idea of like a Lincoln Riley or a college guy coming up?
No. Look, the only offensive-minded coach I like, and I was going, this is my next person. I got one for you, and y'all gonna laugh, but don't laugh. Just to put light into it, okay?
Let's go.
All right.
Dino Babers, the Syracuse head coach.
Okay.
Go look at some of his film. Now I know this year they're not looking good because of COVID, and then they got a lot of injuries. But you go look at 2018 and 2019, how the offense ran. Man, it'll blow your mind. I'm telling you, they run a veer and shoot offense.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you bring that to the NFL, it's gonna take a while for the NFL to adapt to stopping that type of offense.
Here's the one thing that I think about a head coaching search. It's hard because I do want a coach that's proven that he can coach, right? He can coordinate, he can call plays, but that's not what I want in a head coach. I want a head coach that's going to oversee everything. That can manage people. Like a lot of what a head coach does, I think, should not be coordinating. It should be managing your coaches. He needs to be able to manage a staff. And so those are things that us as fans, we don't always get an insight into. A lot of people know X's and O's. Not a lot of people can coach, and very few people can be a head coach because a lot of that is interpersonal, being able to recruit players. I know the GM does a lot, but the head coach, being able to talk to your superstars and be able to get them bought in and excited. That's what a head coach does. And you just don't, you could be a great coordinator and not end up being a good coach. So that's why for me, it's hard to be like, yeah, this guy did a great job coordinating this defense. So now I want him as my head coach. That's the only thing us as fans can look at and be able to decide. But I want to see a guy that went to a organization that had maybe they're a defensive coordinator, and that defense was just like hostile and players didn't get along and like they didn't play together, and then they go there and then that gets fixed, because those are the things that you're looking for.
And I think
like my thing is like I'm Kyle. We're gonna have to have a lot of conversations, man. I'm gonna have to follow you and stuff because I coached as well too, and I know football, but what I'm an expert at is coaching. I can tell good coaching and I can tell bad coaching. Right. All right, so go ahead, Kevin.
No, I was just going to say one of our guys, Tyler Foffey, said Brian Schottenheimer is our head coach. I think that'd be awesome if he came back over Marty. But honestly, the way we did Marty, his dad, I don't think
he's interested.
All wanting to come back to the Charger.
Spanos family is not.
Yeah, he ain't coming back. Yeah, I was going to say, matter of fact, this Saturday, I'm doing another coach scouting on Brian Schottenheimer. I got some Seattle guys coming on, and we're going to talk about Brian Schottenheimer. How the way he's doing up there in Seattle, developing Russell Wilson was good, but like this man right now is great. Like I don't know if he's still in MVP talks, but because he didn't have some bad games here and there, but still. But I like Brian Schottenheimer. He's been he had
some good stock.
Yeah, he had some some ups and downs in his coaching career. He was here in Georgia 2015. And but I feel like now he has resurrected his coaching career up there in Seattle, calling that offense. But I agree with you, but here's the thing: to be a great head coach, one, you have to hire a good coaching staff.
Yep.
You have to put thought into who you're going to bring in. And most of these coaches, when they get hired as head coaches, they bring in folks that they cool with or that they know, instead of bringing in folks that are going to get the job done at that position and it's going to be a good coordinator for that side of the ball.
Let me give you an example specific to the Chargers right now. Our special teams coordinator was Lynn's mentor, best friend, George Stewart. He's the reason why our special teams is the way it is. So he brought in a friend, a mentor, not the right guy for the job. So I completely agree with that sentiment.
Same thing with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, he hired with our special teams coach. Not now, but they got fired. He got fired with Dan Quinn. But I forgot his name. But he hired him because he served in the military. Because Dan Quinn was huge on the military. Look, I love the military. I come from a military family, but you don't hire people just off the military. You hire them how they done. This is football. We're not going to war. We're not going to battle with nobody. All right, we playing football. Yeah. So, like I said, no disrespect to the men and women who serve, but Dan Quinn, his hires just didn't make any sense at all, other than the Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, I give him credit on that, but other than that, man, it just you got to hire a good coaching staff. And the second thing you got to do is you cannot micromanage. Yep. You cannot if you're a defensive minded head coach, okay, you bring somebody in that got the same philosophy that you have, but you're not a coordinator anymore. You are a head coach.
Well, you don't have to do two if you did one correctly. If you brought in the right guys, you don't need to micromanage people.
But
so it all comes back to the one.
But sometimes it happens. I've seen it. I've seen it happen plenty of times.
We're watching it every Sunday.
Well, yeah, that's what Coach Lynn is doing right now. And that's the problem is he's an inexperienced head coach. So he didn't, I don't know why he doesn't know that that's not what you do, but that's just what's going on. You see him looking at his play chart way too much, calling plays instead of being aware of the clock and when we should be taking timeouts. And it's what we're experiencing now. But I think that all those points is what's hard for a fan to pick the head coach that they want, because you don't get to see all that stuff. You don't get to see the way coaches interact with other coaches, the way that they lead their staff, the way that they interact with their players. You don't get to see that. You get to see the stats and how many games they win. And that's what we base success off of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
what's Craig going on? I see him popping up.
Craig's
man. He said Lynn has been in a glass case of emotion since the Tyrod debacle, and that's pretty much what he's like. Yeah, like, oh god,
everything, all my plans are gone. Yeah, very true.
And Craig, to answer your question about the Veer and Shoot offense, it is similar to what Greg Roman is running out there in Baltimore, but the concepts that Dino has is very different. I'm telling you, you go watch the tape and you thinking that you're going to end up trying to, as a defensive coordinator, defensive minded coach, it's like, how am I going to stop this? And the college level, yes, they count on, but pro, it's like the triple option back then. When it came to the NFL, a lot of teams had a hard time stopping that. And it took them a while to stop it. But you bring that offense in here, man, I think that'd be better. But like we said, we talked about Lincoln Riley. I'm just not sold on Lincoln Riley because, he got some good quarterbacks. Every quarterback that came from him has been Heisman's. I get it. I really do get it. But I just feel like he shouldn't come to the NFL right now and just be I don't think he'll be successful as a Cliff Kingsbury.
Gotcha.
So, another great hire by Dan Quinn that you failed to mention was Marquand Manuel. So don't leave my man Mark out of there because he was a good hire. He got the bunt of the firing for no reason. But now it's time to
find a scapegoat. You got to find a scapegoat, just like Steve Sarkisian. They found a scapegoat in him too. Yeah. So
let's talk about these two quarterbacks. Well, Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan. So in my eyes, these two quarterbacks are both very, very similar. Both were first round picks, top 5. Matt Ryan 3rd overall, Phillip Rivers 4th overall. Either one has a Super Bowl.
Well, one went to one.
Yeah, that's he didn't win. Both have 6 playoff appearances. Matt Ryan has an MVP.
Taking little shots at my boy Phil. What's going on over there?
I'm not taking shots.
What's going on up there? What's going on?
I'm just calling it like it is. It's just facts.
I know, but it's just like that.
Phil also didn't collapse in a Super Bowl either.
That's awesome.
Hey, let's be real. Look. Matt Ryan did not collapse. Okay, it was the team that collapsed. You go look at the quarterback ranking for Super Bowl history, and I promise you, Matt Ryan is going to be 2nd or 3rd on that list.
Yeah, but Phillip Rivers also didn't get to the Chargers. Never got to the Super Bowl. Not just Phillip Rivers.
Hey,
so you can't put the Super Bowl on Matt Ryan and not take the loss on Matt Ryan.
No. Stop.
It's the team. Your point is it's a team.
It is a team. It is a team. I get it. But here's the thing. Who won MVP that year? Who had historically good numbers that year?
He did, and he also lost the Super Bowl. That's
yes, he was part of the team that lost the Super Bowl. But guess what? Did he throw a pick in the Super Bowl? Did he turn the ball over? Like, no, he didn't. It was the defense. The defense gave up 25 unanswered points in the fourth quarter.
He took some bad sacks in times you shouldn't have taken sacks.
But here's the thing, man. But I get it. But at the same time, man, I don't like when people say, "Oh, he took a sack." Like he can't block himself. Yeah. He can't block himself. Yeah, he can try to throw the ball away, but you try to throw the ball away.
He could have checked the play at the line and got somebody open. All I'm saying is he could have done it.
When you were doing this,
you got to be careful attacking Phillip Rivers, man. We go to the death.
No one's attacking Phillip Rivers. I'm just calling like it is.
No, it's okay. We just found your button, bro. We just found your button. We're just hitting it. Sorry.
But Matt Ryan made one. So
fair enough.
True facts.
Hey, when it comes to that Super Bowl, did you not see that pass to Julio Jones? That's probably one of the best passes in Super Bowl.
That was beautiful. Yeah, great catch. That was an awesome play.
Even Troy Aikman himself said that I don't think I can make a throw like that.
Yeah,
and that's a Hall of Fame quarterback right there talking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're with you. We're just giving you a hard time.
Yeah. Matt Ryan, 117 wins, 94 losses. Phillip Rivers, 128 wins, 107 losses. Matt Ryan completion percentage, 65.4. Phillip Rivers, 65.3.
Yeah, so that number right there is like, and Rivers have been playing more games than Matt Ryan too. So
that is true. He was drafted in 2004. So a lot of these yards and touchdowns are kind of misconstrued.
You'd have to average them out to get them comparable.
Really, he only had 2 years before because he didn't play in 04 and 05 because that was on Drew Brees.
Yeah. And he also didn't throw the ball his first 4 years because he had LT. So
exactly.
He didn't need to throw the ball at all. And that was a different NFL from when Matt Ryan started playing.
Totally.
He didn't throw the ball 50 times a game.
So,
Matt Ryan, touchdowns 339, Phillip Rivers 415. And right here, this stat I'm about to say is why I think Matt Ryan is better than Phillip Rivers. Game-winning drives, Phillip Rivers 30, Matt Ryan 39. And when you look at the list, Matt Ryan is top 7, Don, on that list.
Yep,
so he knows how to win games, and that's how he got the name Matty Ice.
Well, comeback wins, but here's the thing. You better make sure ain't no more than 2 minutes on that clock when he throw that game-winning touchdown because if our defense get the ball, we going to end up losing. So,
career PPR, Matt Ryan 94.5, Phillip Rivers 96.1. Justin Herbert, can he fill Phillip Rivers' shoes, or will he be better or worse? What y'all think?
It's hard to say with, Phil was such a big part of Charger history now and like what we were all about for so long. It would be irresponsible of us to be like, he's our replacement guy. He's perfect, So far, if this sample size of what we've seen is anything of what we're going to get in the future, we are very set up. I think, most teams in the NFL are, they're always struggling to find a quarterback. Like they're going through guys every year, every 2 years. There's somebody new drafted, somebody new. We had a quarterback for how many years, Kyle? Was he 16 years?
Yeah, something. He's the record for like the most consecutive starts for us. He never was hurt, never missed a game.
He's one of the toughest guys in the NFL. This last week as a Colt, he played with an exploded plantar fasciitis tendon in his fucking foot. Excuse me, bad language. My apologies. I get very excited about Phillip Rivers. Sorry. But yeah, he's the intangibles that Phil has, and kind of, my favorite thing about Phillip Rivers is when he's on the sidelines chirping at people without using bad language. And then you look at how everyone sees him and they're like, oh, he stinks. He's always, talking to us. And I just love how he gets under people's skin. So I don't know. I love Phil Rivers. Always will.
I think that's what the fan base, it's not all the fan base loved Phillip Rivers. A lot of them wanted him gone for a long time. We love Phil because of the intangibles, not necessarily the football games that he won. We didn't win any Super Bowls. So as far as filling those shoes, there's not that big of shoes to fill, I guess. It's not like we were this extremely successful team. It's the intangibles about Phil, the playing through injuries, the way he talked about his teammates, the commitment he had to the organization. All those stuff is why you love Phillip Rivers. So I think that Justin Herbert is set up to be able to fill his shoes. It's just going to be a matter of being able to do it as consistently as Phil did. He was just that guy you knew was always going to be there on Sunday and was going to give everything he had to the game. So I think that's what's hard to fill is the leadership that Phil had.
And that's the problem. And I'm glad you pointed it out because I remember there was some Chargers fans who wanted to get rid of Phillip Rivers. Mm-hmm. And I remember after 2009 that y'all saw Drew Brees go off to New Orleans and win the Super Bowl. And like y'all was like, man, we kept the wrong quarterback or whatever. And I remember that. And y'all, you're still fans there that just, finicky on Phillip Rivers, and y'all, didn't bring him back. And this is what we have. This is the issue we have right now with Matt Ryan. A lot of people say, "Oh, Matt Ryan's trash," and we need to trade Matt Ryan for a pick and draft Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you want us to trade a former league MVP, a multi-time Pro Bowler, an All-Pro quarterback, an elite quarterback for a maybe. You don't know what you drafting. It's a crapshoot.
No, it's grass is always greener on the other side until it just is.
I think that here's my point of view is that we didn't not win a Super Bowl because of Phillip Rivers. He's not the reason we weren't successful. There's a lot of other pieces that didn't line up. Just like kind of your point earlier, you didn't lose that Super Bowl because of Matt Ryan. So that's not the issue that needs to be addressed. I think that with Drew Brees, we may have he was right into the prime, right when we had LT. Everything was set up, and we had a young Phillip Rivers to lead the team. I think we probably could have been better there for a 2 or 3 year span. But after that, I don't think he was drastically less talented or less efficient than Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a Hall of Fame quarterback in his own right, and he's outraged. I just don't think that that's the reason we didn't win a lot of football games was because of Phil. I think there was other issues going on that are continuing to go on even now that he's gone.
Look, I can name them. Noah Turner, Mike McCoy, Ken Wisenhunt. Y'all had Ken Wisenhunt as a head coach.
He was an offensive coordinator.
He was our coordinator.
Oh, he was our coordinator. Who was between Turner and Mike McCoy?
That was it.
That was it.
Turner, McCoy, y'all kept Turner for a long time.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Norval, he was our coach for quite some time.
Oh my goodness, I don't know why people kept getting this man a pass. This man is god awful. Like, I remember when he was coaching for the Redskins after Joe Gibbs left, because they brought him in because Turner was the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys when they won those Super Bowls. Yep. And I'm like, yeah, this man.
It's just another example. You could be a good coordinator and not be a good head coach. It doesn't translate.
It doesn't. And like, now y'all got Anthony Lynn. Like, y'all done had like offensive minded head coaches for a long time. You really need to get back to how y'all was under Marty Schottenheimer and hire somebody that know defense.
Right. That's what I'm saying every week on our podcast, and more of a defensive minded guy. And I think there's something to be said there. I think once we get all of our guys back, Derwin James, Drew Tranquil, some of these guys that have been hurt, like, we have the potential to have one of the best defenses in the league. So it should be interesting moving forward.
So we know both these guys are going to be Hall of Famers, Matt Ryan and Phillip. Do y'all think they're first ballot, or what do y'all think they getting in at?
I don't think so. Phillip, if he had that Super Bowl, a couple of those Super Bowls, he's always going to be compared to his draft class. And Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger both have the rings. I don't think Phil is a first ballot. There's a lot of people that don't know if he'll get in. I think he will, based on his stats and what he did, setting records for the Chargers organization. But I do think it'll probably take some time for him.
I think he'll get in the Hall of Fame. It just and I hate when people use rings. I'm not talking about you, Kyle, but just everybody, because they talking about Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan should, when it all said and done, he's going to be first ballot Hall of Fame with or without a ring. If he continue to play at this level, and you bring in a competent offensive coordinator that can come in and maximize what we have, well, then all said and done, Matt Ryan will be a first ballot Hall of Fame. I don't care what anybody. This man is top 10 in almost every category that you can think of right now.
Well, I think also it's something you got to remember too with the voting and all that is like people remember what happened recently. Yeah. So when you end your career, it depends on where you end your career. If he's struggling, if he holds on too long and doesn't, isn't shining, it could set him back. So it's hard to say with how those guys vote for those the ballot positions, but we'll see.
I feel you, but at the same time, man, with Matt Ryan, I just feel like a lot of people just, especially ESPN and them, they don't. You could tell when they talk, they don't know football, man. Stephen A. Smith, like, you're a basketball person, go sit your behind down somewhere. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, Phillip Rivers is a good quarterback. I just felt like the ownership there and the management of the team, it failed him. Like,
and he's also a small market, man. He played in San Diego the majority of his career. We don't get that kind of national attention. ESPN, they don't talk about us. Unless we're that number one seed, even if we're in the playoff hunt, we're not considered or talked about. So I just don't think he was on. If you're not a Charger fan, he wasn't on everyone's radar. I think maybe now he's going to the Colts, another somewhat smaller market. I think that's what's probably gonna hurt him is no Super Bowls. And just playing for a smaller market team. I think he'll get in. His stats, his wins, what he's done for the NFL, I think hopefully will get him in there, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the prediction.
You guys go first. I don't want to. No, you go first.
Always go first. Yes, always go first. We look. We're displaying Southern hospitality, so we always let our guests go first. You go to any house in the South. I don't know if y'all been in the South. Y'all live in the South. I know y'all.
I've worked down in Alabama a lot. It's for real.
Yeah, when you come down here, you go to somebody's house. Guess what? You eat first. Yeah. So y'all go first.
All right, Kyle. Ladies first. You go first.
All right. Sounds like you're deflecting. You just don't want to guess.
He treat you like a little brother. Oh man,
he is always. He'll forever be my little brother.
So I don't know. I think this is going to be a really tough game. I think we're going to score a lot of points. I think you guys are going to score a lot of points. My projection is look. You raise your eyebrows, but Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley scare me with our defensive backs.
You know what scares me though? Dirt cutter. That's
yeah. We'll see. Last week I always predict that the Chargers are going to win every week. It's a disease. But last week I went against to try to flip it. We ended up losing 45-0. So I'm not doing that again. I'm going to predict the Chargers do come out with a victory.
All Kyle.
I'm going to call it's going to be close, and the Falcons will probably have a lead and then blow it. So I'm going to go 27-24 Chargers.
Okay. All right. Big brother.
Yeah, I gotta go win. I just shamelessly positive about the Chargers even when they're not playing like they need to be. I can't remember what I said on our podcast, but because I was just in a day after losing 45-0. So I'm gonna come up with a new one here. I'm gonna go 31-27 Chargers. And I think Herbert's going to throw for over 350. I think he's going to. You guys will get a nice introduction to what.
He's going to throw. We've thrown the ball 50 times for the last 3 weeks in a row. So the ball is going to be launched.
It'll be in the air.
Yep.
What about you guys? What are you thinking?
All right. I got
This is uncomfortable, man. I don't like doing score predictions with the other team's fans.
Hey man, look, we don't like doing it either, but hey, you gotta get it done.
I got the Falcons 27-24, game winning by Younghoe Koo.
Oh that would be a dagger for us. Yeah.
He's gonna kick the game winner. He's gonna go out singing the Chargers theme song. So that's what I got.
All right.
That's what I think. I think Joey Bosa gonna have a great game. Because our offensive line gonna just let him have his way.
He's been pissed off the last couple of weeks.
He's
gonna use our offensive line as an easy target and go get the Matt Ryan probably 2 or 3 times. I'm scared of that. I feel like I talked about the Spider-Man meme of no, you win. No, I don't want to win. You win. Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be a game like that, but. It's just hard, man, because we lost against the Saints last week, and I'm still upset about that. We done got swept by them.
We lost 45-0 last week. Just to remind you,
I know, but the Patriots are not a rival, so I know that's a game is a game. A game won is a game won. Game lost is a game lost. I get it, but at the same time, look, I despise the New Orleans Saints. Okay, like it's so many things. I know I'm not even to talk about this on the live, but it's just I do not like them at all. But I think this should be a bounce back game for the Falcons. I don't think it's still going to be enough to wow Raheem Morris to be an offense, not offense, but the head coach going into next year, because I feel like he's going to be gone. But this is going to be a bounce back game for the Falcons. I say we win this game 24-14.
Ooh. All right.
Some
I think we're gonna put a little more on 14, but we'll see. It'll be fun.
See. Yeah, I think we put up 0 last week, so who knows?
Never know.
Yeah, but
went from 30 points to 0 in 1 week, so it was good.
But look, how the way we handled Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and that was that's the number 7 at the time, was number 7 in the offense.
Yeah, put up a 40 burger.
Yeah. But all right. Thank y'all so much for coming on. Once again, let everybody know who y'all are and where they can find y'all at.
Yeah, we're the Charger Chat Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at the Charger Chat Pod, on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, Charger Chat Podcast. Check us out. Thanks for and thanks again for having us, guys. We appreciate it. It's always fun to mix it up with the other podcasts.
Hey, anytime, man. I appreciate y'all coming on. Craig, you look, man. You sound like a intelligent football guy, man.
Greg's part of our show every week. He's a coach too. He knows what's up. Yeah.
Look, y'all, if y'all can, man, get us a subscribe. We appreciate talking football with y'all. I'm gonna go ahead. Look, we already subscribed to y'all channel as well, so we. I'm gonna go check out.
I'm gonna go check out your coaching breakdowns. Go see what we got.
Yeah, and leave a comment, man, or we can just chop it up on in Twitter, on the DM or whatever. So, for sure. But give me y'all, if y'all got an individual Twitter, let me know. If not, Facebook or whatever, because I like talking football.
You want Kyle's because he's the good X's and O's guys. What is it? Bolt Coach.
Yep, Bolt Coach.
Yeah, just send it to me. Send it to me on Twitter, so I'll follow you back.
We got you.
All right.
But everybody who joined us live, appreciate y'all. Falcons fans, Chargers fans, we love y'all all. Hey,
Thanks,
if you're new to appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that like button. Share this content out with other Atlanta sports fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. Thank you, Craig. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast.
And always remember to love yourself. We out.
Most importantly. All right. On that note, you guys, we out. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I will be talking about a GM that I have in mind for the Falcons. Stay tuned for that tomorrow. Other than that, y'all have a great evening. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
See you Sunday.
Yes, indeed.
Bolt gang or don't bang.
See y'all Sunday.
I like that slogan.
Yes.